Ryan Adams sat quietly at the corner desk in Stellar Academy, carefully organizing his books and belongings for the day. His movements were cautious and slow, as though he hoped that by being invisible, he might be spared from another round of teasing. Ryan was the only human student among hundreds of alien classmates, each from different worlds, speaking different languages, and following different customs. He often felt like an outsider, and the other students never let him forget it. At 14 years old, Ryan was not very tall or particularly strong. His appearance was ordinary, with short brown hair, calm blue eyes, and a gentle expression. Unlike the dazzling colors or unique features of his classmates, Ryan's appearance was simple and plain. This simplicity made him an easy target for bullies. "Hey, human," came a harsh voice. Ryan looked up, already knowing who it was. Zarek, a large alien with bright green scales and sharp yellow eyes, stood in front of Ryan's desk, smirking. He was always the loudest bully, and today was no different. "Why do you even bother showing up here? You're weak, you don't fit in, and nobody wants you here." A few of Zarek's friends laughed loudly behind him, their alien faces twisted into cruel smiles. Ryan tried to keep his head down, focusing on his books, pretending he didn't hear them. "Are you deaf too, human?" Zarek mocked, grabbing Ryan's notebook and holding it high above his head. "Or maybe humans just don't understand simple words." Ryan stood up, reaching for his notebook. "Give it back, please," he said quietly, his voice calm but steady. He didn't want to make a scene, hoping Zarek would simply grow bored, but Zarek had no intention of stopping. He dangled the notebook just out of Ryan's reach, teasing him. Ryan felt his cheeks flush with embarrassment. He could sense everyone watching, some laughing quietly, others simply looking away, unwilling to help. "Why should I give it back?" Zarek sneered. "What will you do? Cry? Call your pathetic human family?" Ryan clenched his fist tightly. He felt a wave of sadness rise inside him, mixed with anger. But he swallowed hard and forced himself to remain calm. "Please, just give it back. I need it for class." "Fine," Zarek chuckled cruelly, tossing the notebook onto the floor. "Oops. Looks like your human fingers aren't fast enough." Ryan bent down quietly to pick it up, refusing to meet anyone's gaze. He knew the teachers wouldn't help him. They often pretended not to see the bullying, thinking that a human child's struggles weren't important enough to interfere. Throughout the day, similar incidents repeated. Ryan was shoved in hallways. His lunch knocked from his hands, and whispered insults echoed behind his back. Still, Ryan endured everything without complaint. He believed that responding would only make things worse. At lunchtime, he sat alone at a distant table, quietly eating a simple meal from Earth that he brought every day. His classmates gathered at their tables, laughing, chatting, and sharing meals from their worlds, foods that smelled strange and exotic to Ryan. No one ever invited him to join. Occasionally, he would glance around the busy cafeteria, silently hoping someone would come and talk to him. But each day passed the same. No friendly faces, no smiles, just a feeling of loneliness that grew heavier with time. As the final bell rang, signaling the end of classes, Ryan carefully packed up his belongings and began walking toward the exit. But Zarek and his friends blocked his path again. Zarek's yellow eyes glinted with cruel amusement. "Going home to your pathetic little world, human?" He sneered. "Maybe you should stay there and stop bothering real people." Ryan paused, feeling exhaustion settle deep within him. His voice was quiet but firm as he spoke. "I'm not bothering anyone. Please let me go." Zarek snorted, pushing him roughly aside. "Go ahead. Run back home. Maybe one day you'll realize you don't belong here." Ryan stumbled slightly but quickly regained his balance. He continued walking without another word, knowing that arguing was pointless. Outside, he took a deep breath, calming himself as he walked toward the shuttle that would take him home. As he sat alone on the shuttle, he looked out into the vast space, thinking about his mother. She was strong, powerful, and respected. Ryan wondered what she would do if she knew how he was treated. But he didn't want her to worry, so he kept everything hidden. Little did Ryan know that soon everyone at Stellar Academy would learn his secret, and everything would change forever. The day following the latest incident at Stellar Academy began just like any other for Ryan Adams. He woke early, dressed neatly, and prepared for another day of silent endurance. As he ate breakfast alone, Ryan wondered briefly what it might feel like to have friends at school, someone who might listen and understand. Shaking off the wishful thinking, he quickly finished eating and stepped onto the shuttle, bracing himself for whatever awaited him at school dot when Ryan arrived. He immediately noticed a strange buzz around the school. Aliens from various worlds gathered in small groups, speaking in hushed, excited tones. Ryan didn't understand what was happening, but curiosity tugged at him. He overheard snippets of conversation as he walked by. "She's coming today." One student gasped. "The Queen herself? Why here?" Whispered another in awe. Ryan paused briefly. "Queen?" He wondered if someone important was visiting Stellar Academy. Shrugging to himself, Ryan continued toward his class, choosing to ignore the commotion. He expected no changes to his routine dot in the classroom. Students still glanced sideways at Ryan, but were distracted by discussions about their mysterious visitor. Even Zarek seemed occupied, bragging to his friends about how he would personally greet the important guests. Ryan took advantage of the momentary peace and quietly prepared his books. Suddenly, the door swung open and Principal Varric, an elderly alien with silver scales and wise eyes, entered the room. Everyone immediately fell silent. "Attention, students," Principal Varric said calmly. "As you may have heard, we have a distinguished guest today. Queen Diana Adams, ruler of the Galactic Empire, will visit us shortly." Ryan's heart skipped a beat at the name. His mother was here, at his school? He felt a mix of excitement and anxiety rush through him. He kept his expression neutral, trying to hide his surprise. "We expect everyone to be respectful, Principal." Varric continued. "This visit is extremely important." As soon as the principal left, excited whispers filled the room again. Ryan's mind raced. He had never expected his mother to visit without telling him first. Why had she come? And why hadn't she warned him? The time passed slowly until finally, an announcement echoed through the school. "All students, please gather in the main hall for the arrival of Queen Diana Adams." Ryan walked toward the hall, keeping his head low, unnoticed by his classmates who rushed eagerly forward. They all lined up neatly, their eyes focused on the stage where Principal Varric stood waiting. The hall grew silent again as the large double doors opened. Ryan saw his mother enter gracefully, her presence commanding attention from everyone. Queen Diana Adams was tall, confident, and carried herself with dignity and warmth. Her dark hair, elegantly styled, framed a face that showed strength and kindness. Ryan watched silently, pride swelling in his chest. This was the mother he knew, the strong, caring woman who ruled with fairness and wisdom. The students around him murmured in admiration as she stepped forward. "Thank you all for welcoming me today," Queen Diana spoke clearly, her voice echoing gently. "Stellar Academy is known throughout the Empire for its excellence. I am honored to be here." Her eyes scanned the crowd, pausing briefly on Ryan. A gentle, knowing smile curved her lips. "Before we proceed further, I would like to greet someone special." The entire hall froze in curiosity and surprise. "Ryan, please come forward," she said, extending her hand warmly. Every pair of eyes in the hall turned to Ryan in shock. Ryan felt his face burn slightly, but he stood tall and calmly walked toward his mother, ignoring the stunned whispers around him. He climbed onto the stage, and Queen Diana gently hugged him, her eyes filled with warmth. "Everyone," she announced. "Clearly, this is my son, Ryan Adams. He is attending Stellar Academy to learn and understand the many cultures within our empire. I trust you have all welcomed him warmly." The words echoed in silence. No one dared speak. The realization spread through the room rapidly, changing how everyone viewed Ryan. "I am proud of you," Queen Diana whispered gently to Ryan. I know this hasn't been easy, but you are stronger than you realize. Ryan nodded silently, feeling tears of relief and pride well in his eyes. His secret was finally revealed, and the truth had changed everything. He glanced out into the hall, seeing the expressions of shock, embarrassment, and even regret among his classmates. From this day forward, Ryan knew his life at Stellar Academy would be different. His mother's powerful presence had changed his place among his peers, revealing his hidden heritage and forever altering his path. The following days after Queen Diana Adams' visit to Stellar Academy felt strange and different for Ryan Adams. Before, his classmates ignored him or bullied him. Now, many students tried to speak with him, though Ryan noticed their kindness didn't feel real. They smiled and laughed too quickly, offering empty praise. Hoping Ryan might forget their previous cruelty. At first, Ryan felt relieved and hopeful. Maybe things were finally going to improve. But soon, he realized the smiles hid their true feelings. They weren't sorry for how they treated him. They were only worried because of who his mother was. One day at lunchtime, Zarek approached Ryan with a fake smile, something Ryan never imagined seeing on the face of his biggest tormentor. "Ryan, buddy," Zarek began, his voice overly friendly. "Why don't you join us today? My table has a great spot saved for you." Ryan hesitated, looking up carefully at Zarek's sharp yellow eyes. He saw no kindness there, only fear and greed. Ryan shook his head gently. "No, thank you," he replied calmly, choosing to remain polite but distant. He knew they weren't really friends and never would be. Zarek's smile faltered for a moment, his eyes narrowing slightly before he regained his false cheerfulness. "Come on, Ryan, I promise we're cool now. You're one of us, right?" Ryan stood slowly, shaking his head once more. "I'm fine where I am. Thank you," he repeated softly. He picked up his tray and moved quietly to another empty table far away. As he walked, he could hear whispers behind him, some expressing anger, others worry. Days passed, and the academy's atmosphere grew tense. Teachers, previously indifferent, now checked frequently on Ryan, asking if he needed help or extra support. They offered special treatment, but Ryan politely refused each time. He didn't want special treatment. He only wanted fairness. One afternoon, Ryan walked alone through a corridor after class, carrying his books close. He heard footsteps behind him and turned to see a familiar face approaching. It was Lyra, an alien girl from a distant planet known for its bright blue skin and gentle manners. Lyra rarely spoke in class and had never joined in teasing Ryan. "Hi, Ryan," Lyra greeted softly, smiling shyly. "Can I talk to you for a moment?" Ryan nodded carefully, feeling cautious but hopeful. "Sure, Lyra," he replied, trying to stay calm. She took a deep breath, her voice gentle but sincere. "I'm sorry for how everyone treated you, including me. I saw the bullying, but I never did anything to help. I was scared of being targeted myself. But it was wrong, and I'm really sorry." Ryan looked at Lyra, seeing genuine sadness and honesty in her bright eyes. Her apology felt real. "Thank you," he said quietly, feeling a small sense of relief. "I appreciate that you told me." She nodded, smiling a little. "I don't want you to forgive everyone easily, Ryan. They haven't changed, just their reasons for acting friendly. Be careful, okay?" Ryan felt grateful for Lyra's honest advice. It matched his own thoughts perfectly. "I will," he promised. After Lyra left, Ryan continued walking, thinking deeply about what she said. He knew he needed to be careful, watching who treated him kindly because they truly cared, not because they feared his mother's power. The following week, Stellar Academy announced a special project requiring pairs of students to collaborate closely. The teacher, Mr. Vera, smiled warmly at Ryan. "Ryan, you may choose your partner first," she said gently, clearly showing him special attention. Ryan hesitated, feeling everyone's eyes upon him. He knew most classmates expected him to choose someone popular or powerful. Instead, he pointed quietly toward Lyra. "I'd like to work with Lyra. he said firmly. Surprised whispers rippled around the classroom, but Ryan ignored them. Lyra smiled gratefully and walked over to sit beside him. Throughout their project, Ryan found Lyra kind and patient. She genuinely wanted to understand human culture and shared fascinating stories from her own planet. For the first time, Ryan felt like he was making a real friend at Stellar Academy. However, tensions remained high among other students. Zarek watched him coldly, jealousy clear in his expression. Ryan sensed trouble might be coming soon. He knew Zarek wouldn't stay silent for long. As Ryan packed his belongings after class one afternoon, Zarek approached, no longer smiling falsely. "Enjoy your new friend, human," he hissed quietly, his eyes cold. "Just remember, you can't trust everyone." Ryan met Zarek's gaze evenly, unafraid. "I know who I can trust," he replied calmly, standing firm. "And I know who I can't." Zarek glared at Ryan for a moment longer, then turned sharply and walked away, clearly frustrated. Ryan watched him go, feeling stronger than before. He knew he faced challenges ahead, but now he had an ally, and he understood the importance of choosing trust carefully. Ryan Adams had begun to settle into a comfortable routine at Stellar Academy. Working closely with Lyra made his school days better, giving him the friendship he'd missed for so long. They spent their time studying together, sharing stories from their worlds, and gradually developing a genuine bond. Despite their differences, they quickly understood and respected each other. However, the tensions at the academy were still noticeable. Many students pretended to be friendly, but their insincerity was clear. Ryan stayed polite but distant, keeping his real friendship limited to Lyra. One morning, the academy buzzed with excitement once again. A grand ceremony had been arranged, inviting influential leaders from many worlds to showcase the students' projects. Ryan felt nervous about presenting his work in front of so many important visitors, but he remained determined to perform his best. Ryan and Lyra carefully prepared their project. They had created an interactive presentation comparing Earth's history and Lyra's home planet, showing similarities in how different cultures overcame challenges. It was a message about unity and understanding among diverse peoples, something Ryan felt strongly about. "We'll do great," Lyra reassured him gently as they set up their materials in the large presentation hall. Her calming presence eased Ryan's nerves. "I hope so," Ryan said quietly, smiling gratefully. "I'm glad we're partners." "Me too," she replied warmly, adjusting the display carefully. The hall filled quickly with students, teachers, and prestigious guests. Ryan saw Principal Varric welcoming visitors politely. Suddenly, his heart raced as he noticed his mother, Queen Diana Adams, entering gracefully and heading toward the stage. Ryan felt both excitement and anxiety. His mother's presence always brought him a complicated mix of emotions. "Welcome, distinguished guests," Principal Varric began, his voice clear and respectful. "Today, our talented students showcase their hard work. Please enjoy their presentations." Queen Diana Adams smiled warmly, her gaze briefly settling on Ryan. Her proud expression filled him with courage. Ryan stood taller, determined to make his mother proud. As the presentations began, Ryan and Lyra watched their classmates speak. Many students had impressive displays, yet Ryan noticed Zarek's project seemed especially elaborate, gaining applause from influential visitors. Zarek glanced smugly at Ryan, clearly confident of his success. When their turn finally arrived, Ryan and Lyra stepped forward together. Ryan took a deep breath, steadying his nerves. "Our project is about understanding different cultures," Ryan began calmly. "By comparing Earth's history with Lyra's planet, we found common lessons of courage, unity, and hope." Lyra spoke next, her voice gentle but firm. "Our worlds are different, but our struggles and dreams are the same. Understanding each other can bring peace and cooperation." The visitors listened carefully, impressed by their sincerity. Queen Diana Adams smiled proudly, her eyes shining brightly as she watched Ryan speak. After they finished, loud applause filled the hall. Many visitors praised their thoughtful message. Ryan felt warmth spread through his chest. He glanced at his mother, who nodded approvingly. However, as Ryan and Lyra returned to their seats, Zarek approached, clearly angry. His yellow eyes burned with jealousy. "Nice speech, human," he whispered harshly. "But don't think your mother's presence makes you better than the rest of us." Ryan stayed calm, refusing to be drawn into conflict. "I never said it did," he replied softly but firmly. "We are all equal." Zarek sneered angrily. "You think you're special just because your mother is queen. Well, you're wrong. I'm special because of who I am, not who my mother is," Ryan responded confidently. Meeting Zarek's angry stare evenly, the angry alien turned away, visibly frustrated. Ryan sighed quietly, relieved but tired of the constant tension. Later, as the ceremony ended, Queen Diana approached Ryan and Lyra warmly. "Your presentation was wonderful," she praised, her voice gentle. "I'm proud of both of you." "Thank you," Ryan said, smiling genuinely. Lyra shyly bowed her head respectfully. "It was an honor to present to you your majesty." "The honor was mine." Queen Diana replied graciously. "Your message of unity and understanding is important for all the empire." Ryan felt happiness fill his heart at his mother's words. He glanced around, seeing classmates watching with new respect. For once, their interest felt sincere, not forced by fear or greed. As Queen Diana left the hall, Ryan turned to Lyra, smiling warmly. "Thank you for being my partner. I couldn't have done this without you." "You're welcome," Lyra replied softly. "I'm glad we could show everyone how much we all share." Together, Ryan and Lyra knew their work had genuinely impacted those around them. While challenges remained, Ryan now understood clearly his place at Stellar Academy. He had earned respect not because of his mother's position, but through his own strength, sincerity, and genuine friendship. After the successful presentation, Ryan Adams noticed a genuine shift in how many students treated him at Stellar Academy. Some classmates started showing real kindness, while others kept their distance, clearly unsure how to act. Zarek and a small group of his friends remained hostile, still viewing Ryan as an outsider. Ryan and Lyra spent more time together, their friendship growing stronger. Ryan appreciated her honesty and kindness, trusting her fully. She had proven to be a true friend, unlike many who pretended only because they feared his mother's power. One afternoon, the Academy announced a special school trip to a distant planet known for its beautiful landscapes and peaceful communities. This trip aimed to build teamwork and understanding among students from different worlds. Ryan felt excited, hoping this trip might bring everyone closer. On the morning of the trip, students eagerly boarded the shuttle, chattering happily. Ryan sat next to Lyra, enjoying the comfortable silence between them. Behind them, Zarek spoke loudly, boasting about the adventures he would have. Ryan ignored him, choosing instead to enjoy the beautiful sights of space as the shuttle traveled swiftly. Upon landing, the students were amazed by the stunning views. Bright flowers covered vast meadows, gentle rivers flowed quietly and tall. Mountains stood proudly against the sky. Teachers organized students into small groups, each with a set of challenges designed to encourage teamwork. Ryan was surprised when the teachers paired him with Zarek and several others who had been unkind to him before. Lyra watched nervously as Ryan stepped forward, but he smiled reassuringly at her, determined to remain strong and positive. "Our first challenge," the teacher explained calmly, "is to cross the river without using any technology. You must rely only on each other." Ryan looked at the wide river, its gentle waves flowing steadily. Zarek glanced at Ryan, his yellow eyes hard. "Great," Zarek muttered sarcastically. "We have to rely on the human." Ryan ignored the insult, focusing instead on the challenge. "Let's build a raft," he suggested calmly. "We have plenty of materials." "Here. And who made you leader?" Zarek snapped angrily. "It's just a suggestion," Ryan replied softly, maintaining his composure. "We can work together or waste time arguing." Several other students nodded in agreement, eager to finish the challenge quickly. Reluctantly, Zarek joined in, though his anger was obvious. They gathered large logs, vines, and broad leaves, working quietly but efficiently. Ryan took the initiative in tying the logs together securely, his hands moving carefully and skillfully. Slowly, a sturdy raft formed beneath. Their teamwork. When it was complete, Ryan helped each student onto the raft before stepping aboard himself. As they moved across the river, he noticed the raft holding strong. He felt relieved. Halfway across, however, a sudden wave rocked the raft sharply. Zarek stumbled, nearly falling into the river. Without hesitation, Ryan reached out quickly, grabbing Zarek's arm and pulling him back safely. Zarek stared at Ryan in shock, clearly confused by the humans' immediate reaction to save him despite their history. Ryan simply nodded calmly. "We all make it together," he said quietly, "or we don't make it at all." They reached the other side safely, each student stepping off the raft carefully. Zarek hesitated before approaching Ryan, his expression complicated. "Why did you help me?" he asked awkwardly, avoiding Ryan's eyes. Ryan replied softly but firmly, "Because it's the right thing to do." Zarek nodded slowly, clearly troubled by his thoughts. The group continued to the next challenge in silence, each student quietly reflecting. Following tasks required similar cooperation, and gradually, Zarek's behavior softened. Though still wary, he began showing grudging respect toward Ryan. He stopped openly mocking him, and instead watched quietly, clearly conflicted by his own feelings. By evening, the students gathered around a large campfire, relaxing after their long day. Ryan sat quietly, feeling tired but proud of the teamwork they had achieved. Zarek approached slowly, his eyes cautious but sincere. "Ryan," he said quietly, "thanks for today. You didn't have to help me, but you did. I still don't understand it, but I respect it." Ryan smiled slightly, appreciating the honesty. "Everyone deserves a chance," he said simply. Zarek nodded slowly, clearly thoughtful. "Maybe I've been wrong about humans," he admitted softly. Before walking away, Ryan watched him leave, hopeful that something good had finally started to change within Zarek. Lyra approached, smiling warmly. "You handled everything amazingly today," she praised gently. "You showed everyone true leadership," Ryan shrugged modestly. "I just did what anyone should do," he replied quietly. Lyra shook her head, smiling warmly. "No, Ryan, you did much more than that. You changed minds today. You taught kindness." Ryan looked around the peaceful campfire, feeling a deep sense of satisfaction. Despite difficulties, he realized he was genuinely making a difference. With patience, kindness, and strength, he was slowly building respect, not through fear or power, but through true integrity. Ryan Adams woke early the next morning, feeling refreshed and optimistic. The students at Stellar Academy were preparing to head back after their successful school trip. Ryan felt satisfied knowing he had shown his classmates the importance of teamwork and understanding, especially Zarek, who had previously been his greatest challenge. As Ryan packed his belongings, Lyra approached with a friendly smile. "You really did something great here," she said gently. "I think things are finally changing." Ryan smiled gratefully. "I hope so," he replied softly, "but change can be slow. I just want everyone to feel accepted." Together they joined their classmates as they boarded the shuttle back to the academy. During the flight, Ryan noticed the atmosphere felt different, calmer, friendlier. Students who previously ignored him now nodded in greeting or exchanged brief smiles. Even Zarek seemed more thoughtful, speaking quietly with friends instead of boasting loudly. Back at the academy, classes resumed normally, but Ryan sensed a new openness. More classmates engaged him in genuine conversation, expressing curiosity about Earth, human culture, and his life. Ryan answered their questions openly, encouraging dialogue and understanding. One afternoon, Principal Varric called an assembly. Ryan and Lyra joined their classmates, curious about the sudden meeting. Principal Varric stood confidently on stage. I want to recognize the teamwork and growth many students showed during our recent trip, he began warmly. However, I especially wish to acknowledge someone whose quiet strength and integrity significantly impacted others. Ryan Adams, please step forward. Ryan hesitated, surprised and slightly embarrassed. He glanced at Lyra, who smiled encouragingly. Taking a deep breath, he walked calmly onto the stage, aware of hundreds of eyes watching him. Ryan, principal. Varg said warmly, your ability to lead with kindness, patience, and understanding has taught everyone at Stellar Academy valuable lessons. Despite the challenges you face, you show great strength and dignity. For this we honor you. Students applauded genuinely, their expressions filled with respect. Ryan felt warmth spread through him, gratitude mixed with humility. He nodded his thanks quietly. Principal Vera continued, Ryan's actions remind you all that true leadership comes from understanding and compassion, not power or status. Let us all follow his example and continue to learn from one another. As Ryan returned to his seat, Lyra smiled proudly. You deserve that, she whispered gently. Everyone sees your strength now. I just hope it helps others, Ryan replied. Softly after the assembly, Ryan found himself approached by many classmates offering genuine congratulations and apologies for past behavior. Ryan listened quietly, accepting apologies graciously while encouraging future kindness and respect. Unexpectedly, Zarek approached slowly, looking uncomfortable but sincere. Ryan, he began softly, I want to apologize again. I understand now that I judged you unfairly. I let ignorance guide me. Ryan looked at Zarek, sensing genuine regret. Thank you, Zarek, he said calmly. We all make mistakes. What matters is what we do after we realize them. Zarek nodded, visibly relieved. I'd like to try and start over, if that's okay. Ryan extended his hand calmly, smiling warmly. Of course, he replied. They shook hands briefly, marking a significant moment of healing in the days that followed. Stellar Academy's atmosphere continued to improve. Ryan worked alongside Lyra and other students to establish a club promoting intercultural understanding. They organized events, discussions, and activities designed to encourage dialogue among students from different worlds. During one club meeting, Ryan spoke clearly to the group. We all have differences, he said firmly. But those differences can be our strengths. By learning about each other, we become better, stronger, and more united. Students nodded thoughtfully, understanding the importance of his words. Lyra smiled proudly, knowing Ryan had truly changed many hearts and minds. As the year continued, Ryan noticed fewer incidents of bullying or isolation at the academy. His efforts, along with those of his new friends, created a more inclusive environment. He felt proud knowing he played a part in this positive change. One evening, as Ryan prepared for bed, he received a message from his mother, Queen Diana. Adams, she wrote, I've heard about your accomplishments at Stellar Academy. I'm incredibly proud of you, Ryan. You've demonstrated true leadership, compassion, and wisdom. Continue being the wonderful person you are. Ryan smiled quietly, feeling deep happiness and pride. His mother's words meant everything to him. But even more, knowing he had helped foster genuine acceptance among his classmates filled him with joy. That night, Ryan went to sleep peacefully, confident in his place at Stellar Academy. Through kindness, patience, and quiet strength, he had achieved acceptance, not because he was the son of a powerful queen, but because he had chosen to show everyone the true meaning of humanity. As the school year at Stellar Academy drew closer to its end, Ryan Adams felt deeply satisfied. The changes he'd hoped for were becoming reality. Students who once bullied or ignored him now treated him with genuine respect. He had built true friendships, especially with Lyra, and had earned trust from classmates like Zarek, who had grown greatly from their experiences together. Ryan and Lyra continued leading the intercultural club, encouraging deeper connections among the students. They held weekly meetings, organized events celebrating different worlds, and encouraged students to share their cultures openly. One afternoon, Principal Varick called Ryan into his office. Ryan felt curious but calm as he entered, finding Principal Varick smiling warmly. "Ryan," Principal Varick began gently, "the improvements in our school's culture have been impressive. You've inspired many students. We believe it is important to continue your work. Therefore, we would like you to represent Stellar Academy at the Galactic Youth Summit." Ryan felt surprise and excitement. The Galactic Youth Summit was a prestigious gathering of students from across the Empire, focused on leadership and cultural understanding. "It will be an honor," Ryan replied sincerely. "We know you'll represent us proudly," Principal Varick said warmly. "You can select one other student to accompany you." Ryan immediately thought of Lyra. She had supported him from the beginning, proving herself a genuine friend. "I'd like Lyra to join me," he said confidently. Principal Varick smiled approvingly. "Excellent choice," he replied. Later, when Ryan shared the news with Lyra, she was thrilled. "This is amazing, Ryan. I can't believe we're going to the summit." Ryan nodded, smiling warmly. "I can't think of anyone better to share this experience with," he replied sincerely. When the day of the Galactic Youth Summit arrived, Ryan and Lyra traveled to a grand space station, hosting students from every corner of the Empire. They felt excitement and anticipation as they walked among diverse groups, each representing unique cultures and backgrounds. The summit opened with welcoming speeches emphasizing cooperation, unity, and leadership. Ryan listened carefully, inspired by the powerful messages. Later, they participated in workshops, discussing ideas about harmony, understanding, and overcoming prejudices. During one workshop, Ryan confidently shared his experiences at Stellar Academy. He spoke simply but powerfully about his challenges and how he overcame them by showing kindness and patience. His honest storytelling resonated deeply with his peers. Afterward, many students approached Ryan and Lyra, asking questions and seeking advice on improving their own schools. Ryan gladly offered suggestions, emphasizing openness and understanding. On the final day, each group presented their plans to promote harmony in their communities. Ryan and Lyra detailed their successful club and proposed expanding their model across more schools in the Empire. Their proposal received enthusiastic applause. Returning to Stellar Academy, Ryan felt deeply accomplished. Principal Varg welcomed them proudly, praising their excellent representation. "You've both shown incredible leadership," Principal Varg said warmly. "Thanks to your efforts, Stellar Academy is now a better place." Weeks passed, and Ryan noticed the atmosphere of respect and understanding continuing to grow. Students regularly engaged in open conversations. Friendships blossomed among previously distant groups, and incidents of bullying were nearly gone. After noon, Ryan received another message from his mother, Queen Diana Adams. "Ryan, I've learned about your remarkable efforts at the summit," she wrote. "Your leadership continues to inspire not only your peers, but also myself. I am proud beyond words." Ryan smiled quietly, feeling deeply touched. His mother's pride meant everything to him. But most importantly, Ryan felt proud of himself for making a genuine difference. Near the end of the school year, the students organized a farewell gathering to celebrate their achievements. Ryan, standing beside Lyra, watched proudly as classmates shared stories of friendship, growth, and change. Zarek stepped forward, speaking openly and sincerely. "I want to thank Ryan Adams," he began calmly. "He taught us all what true leadership means. He showed me how wrong I was to judge someone simply because they were different. Ryan made me understand that strength comes from kindness and unity." The students cheered warmly, applauding Ryan's achievements. Ryan stepped forward modestly, his voice clear but gentle. "Everything we've accomplished this year, we did together," he said warmly. "We learned from our differences, grew stronger together, and created something truly special." Lyra smiled, proud and happy beside him. Ryan knew the bond they had formed would last a lifetime. As the gathering ended, Ryan reflected quietly on his journey. He had faced loneliness and hardship, but emerged stronger and wiser. His kindness and determination had brought true change. Ryan knew challenges would always exist, but he felt ready and confident. Looking around at his friends, Ryan realized something deeply important. He wasn't respected simply because his mother was the queen. He had earned respect because of who he was: strong, patient, kind, and genuine. With quiet pride, Ryan knew he had truly found his place at Stellar Academy, and indeed in the galaxy.